If you thought the Crawleys had taken their final bow, think again. The grand doors of Downton Abbey are opening one last time, and this finale promises to be the most emotional yet. Julian Fellowes, the creator of the beloved period drama, is back with a third and final film to give a proper send-off to the aristocratic family fans have cherished since the show's debut in 2010. And yes, most of the familiar faces are returning to reprise their roles for this final chapter. Also returning is Simon Curtis, who directed Downton Abbey: A New Era, once again stepping behind the camera to close out the story. To mark this farewell, we've been treated to the first official image from the upcoming film, and it's already stirring emotions. It features none other than Lady Mary Crawley, portrayed by Michelle Dockery, gliding through the Abbey's grand corridor in a deep red dress, white satin gloves, and a sparkling tiara, poised and elegant as ever. The movie poster doesn't hide its intentions either. With the tagline, "It's almost time to say farewell," it's made clear. This is truly the end. For longtime fans, that's a bittersweet pill to swallow. We've seen the Crawleys navigate love, loss, scandal, war, and even a Hollywood production on their estate. Saying goodbye to them won't be easy. The series first premiered in 2010 and followed the Crawley family and their staff from 1911 through 1925. It distinguished itself from typical period dramas by giving just as much focus to the lives of the servants downstairs as to the nobility upstairs. That balance of perspectives helped turn the show into a global sensation. Downton Abbey helped launch the careers of actors like Lily James, Dan Stevens, and Michelle Dockery, while showcasing incredible performances from veterans like Maggie Smith, Hugh Bonneville, and Jim Carter. After the series ended, a 2019 feature film took us into 1927 when the royal family visited the estate, complete with an assassination plot. Then came 2022's Downton Abbey: A New Era, which split the narrative between the Abbey and the south of France, unveiling secrets and legacies along the way. So what do we know about the final film? A large portion of the beloved cast is returning, including Hugh Bonneville, Elizabeth McGovern, Laura Carmichael, Jim Carter, Phyllis Logan, Joanne Froggatt, Alan Leach, and Penelope Wilton. Dominic West is also back as Guy Dexter, last seen forming a close bond with longtime butler Thomas Barrow, which suggests that subplot could continue. But not everyone is returning. Dame Maggie Smith, who portrayed the legendary Lady Violet Crawley, won't appear. Her character died in the last film, and heartbreakingly, the actress herself passed away in 2024. Her absence will be deeply felt throughout this final installment. Imelda Staunton, who played Lady Maud Bagshaw, and Matthew Good, who portrayed Lady Mary's husband Henry Talbot, are also not returning. Additionally, Tuppence Middleton, who played Lucy Branson, won't be featured in this final chapter. There are, however, some exciting new faces joining the cast: Paul Giamatti, Jolie Richardson, Alexander Nile, Simon Russell Beale, and Artie Frusciante. Giamatti's return is a pleasant surprise, as he previously made a cameo in the series as Cora's brother Harold. Seeing him return helps tie the story back to earlier seasons. Plot details are still mostly under wraps, but we can glean a few clues. With Guy Dexter back in the mix, we might see Thomas Barrow continue his journey toward a new life outside of Downton. Lady Mary's marriage appeared strained in the last film, especially with Henry mostly absent. That absence could be hinting at a separation or divorce. And with Lady Violet gone, the family must now adapt without their formidable matriarch. It's possible the story will shine a light on the next generation of Crawley children, whether they're stepping up or stirring up new trouble. The movie is also expected to serve as a tribute to Dame Maggie Smith and everything she brought to the world of Downton Abbey. Michelle Dockery recently shared how emotional filming was this time. Not just because it marked the end of an era, but because it felt like a celebration of everything that made the show so beloved. She called it a heartfelt farewell to Maggie Smith and spoke about how much the cast cherished each moment on set, knowing it was their last. If the final film wants to stay historically grounded while shaking things up, there's a rich backdrop to draw from: the Great Depression. This was no minor event. It was a global economic collapse beginning in 1929 that devastated economies around the world, including the UK. Even a family as privileged as the Crawleys wouldn't be completely immune. Their wealth, largely tied up in land and long-standing investments, could be at risk. What if their tenants can't pay rent anymore? What if the estate's financial holdings lose value? Those are the kinds of challenges that could lead to uncomfortable dinner conversations and difficult decisions. Meanwhile, the downstairs staff would likely be feeling the pressure too. Some might have family members struggling to find work or be worried about their own job security. The 1920s had been a time of prosperity and glamour, known as the Roaring Twenties, but much of it was built on fragile economic foundations. The stock market crash in October 1929 triggered a ripple effect across the globe, and the fallout reshaped societies. For Britain, already dealing with sluggish growth and high unemployment, the Depression made things worse. Downton Abbey 3 could explore how these broader economic and political shifts touched life at the Abbey. Maybe Lady Mary is forced to make tough choices to modernize the estate. Maybe Tom Branson tries to support struggling villagers, bringing his socially conscious values to the forefront. Even Lady Edith could face difficulties if her magazine starts losing advertisers and readers. Internationally, the Depression fueled radical political movements, especially in Germany, where economic hardship helped the Nazi Party gain power. These tensions could surface in conversations around the Crawleys' dinner table, adding a global perspective to the personal stakes. In America, President Hoover was slow to respond to the crisis, and it wasn't until Franklin D. Roosevelt introduced the New Deal in 1933 that recovery began. Britain, too, faced challenges. Debates over tariffs, unemployment relief, and currency policy could easily make their way into the plot through letters or worried exchanges between characters. Despite all this turmoil, the Crawleys have proven they can weather just about anything. The series has shown them adapt to war, scandal, and changing social norms. So it's only fitting that their final story will be one of both struggle and resilience. Maybe they downsize the staff or stop throwing lavish parties. Maybe Edith reinvents her publication to survive. These changes could show how people endured, how they learned, evolved, and moved forward. As we prepare to say goodbye, it's clear this final film is going to deliver everything fans love: sweeping emotion, beautiful costumes, and that perfect mix of drama and heart. It's a proper curtain call for the Crawleys, and one we're not likely to forget. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.